Hello everyone, welcome to another live commentary. This time with a lot better microphone. I trusted OBS last time, it sounded awful. Never doing that again, but Audacity all the way. Just like last time, no music in the background, so you can feel free to play whatever music you want to. We are music fans in this community, indeed we are. This pyro could have just pulled out his flamethrower and absolutely annihilated me, by the way. There are a lot of people that want this health pack, I'm noticing, so I'm just gonna skedaddle if that's alright, everyone. Anyway, what a brilliant segue that was to our little question we want to answer today. Running into that many players and escaping alive. That's where the dopamine hits. And on a topic such as this one, on why I love Scout, what a map to be playing, Process, you know. You don't even have to watch the Wild Rumpus video. It's the best map in the game. It's wonderful. This map's amazing. Yeah, last round was a bit of a roll, so we're just going to skip to this part. If you are watching the video, you'll notice a few differences. We're using a very stylized HUD today, VCR Hud. Very unique in the HUD department. Very iconic visual style of the VCR era. And, I don't know, I just want to try something different. A lot of HUDs nowadays are just numbers, which is good. Readability is very important, but, you know, do something interesting. It's in the description if you want to download it. I will warn you, though, I recommend enabling min mode, simply because it puts the health and ammo right next to your crosshair, as it's a bit awkward to look on the far right to see your health. Enough about my HUD. Let's talk about Scout, shall we? So, why do I main Scout? Or why do I consider at least Scout to be my main class? I think it's a lot easier questions than people often give it credit for. Like, for example, people like to go on these, like, quizzes of like, oh, which class should I main in Team Fortress 2? And they put a lot of value on like your main is, and you don't really have to main anything in Team Fortress 2. At the end of the day, if you have fun playing any class, just play the class, you know? In every other game that I play, I struggle to find a main, and at the end of the day, really doesn't matter. You don't need a main in a lot of games. Team Fortress 2, I think, also applies to that. Not a game where you really need any sort of main. The only true purpose of a main is if you get a lot of satisfaction from seeing yourself improve in a specific area of a game, or you want to, say, rank up in, say, like a fighting game. Then a main's really good, because you can just put all of your brain power and all of your effort just into that sole class. But TF2 is not really like that. TF2 is a lot more about having fun, experimenting, and just, you know, doing whatever you feel is right, you know, at the end of the day. However, what tends to happen is that you find a main in a game, where at the end of the day, you don't start a game and think, oh, I'm going to play this character and this character alone. Sometimes you just play a game enough and find yourself, oh, I keep playing this character or this set of characters. You know, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. However, in my case, oh, I'm sorry, sir, I had to own you. I played a lot of classes when I was playing Team Fortress 2 for the first time, but I mainly stuck with Engineer of all things, which is hilarious considering my current history with the game. And I used to be very obsessed with efficiency and, you know, doing everything perfect, which is... Oh, how the hell did you... Do you know where you are? An engineer is a brilliant class to be efficient on. The idea is, if you set up your buildings in a good spot, if you maintain them extremely well, you will perform, you know, extremely well, and you'll carry games, hypothetically. So naturally, the first thing I did when I wanted to play competitive Team Fortress 2 is I picked Engineer. You know, I queued up on TF2 Center, I picked Engineer, and it was fine. I enjoyed it. My first couple, you know, games of competitive Team Fortress 2 on Engineer were extremely fun. Youch! Oh, impending doom. I enjoyed it. I still enjoy Engineer. A lot of people find him boring. I'm different. The thing with Engineer, though, is he's very stale. There simply is good spots on maps, especially when the roster of maps don't change. He's a lot more fun as Engineer when you get to be creative, and honestly, that happens outside of competitive. So when I did get bored of Engineer, I eventually started to look into Sixers, and I made my own Sixers team. The people who were on that Sixers team, I am still friends with to this day, and they are some of my closest friends. You are running the DH, so I'm not going to fight you very much. So I started playing a little bit of medic, a little bit of soldier. That's where a lot of my playtime hours got sank into. And eventually, I moved up divs from open. Well, I stayed in open, but I swapped teams, and then that team eventually got into higher divs, like mid, low and mid. And the big difference, however, is that I was now on Scout. Now, I didn't necessarily pick Scout when it came to swapping classes. It was more of a, hey, we have a Scout spot available, do you play Scout? And I was like, yes! I lied. But I secured the Scout spot, and I eventually started playing a lot more Scout in general. And I kind of fell in love with the class. I played that class for years. I want to say like a good 4 years of mainly Scout. Oh, I am just walking into walls for fun. There was a sniper dot on me as well, so I need to be very careful. Woo! And that's basically just been the case for multiple years now. Scout is my favourite class by a landslide. I have the most fun experimenting on Scout, playing Scout. I like playing Scout in sort of... The best way I can explain it is bad situations. Like, outplay is a big factor for me when it comes to my enjoyment on classes. I love the idea that I can be 1 HP, and I can just be like, oh, no, I get to win. A Scout on 1 HP and a Scout on 99 HP play nearly identically. Like, now I'm 85, I can be one-shot by... Well, never mind, my medic's goated, never mind. Now, the last time I did a live commentary, I went over this, but you don't have to stick to completely mega tryhard, you know, oh, I'm a competitive player, I must use stock, like, all the time. And if you enjoy that, go for it. Love it. Brilliant. Have fun. But a big thing with me on Scout is I just love the experimentation. I love taking this class and saying, all right, we've got a problem. How do we solve it? And 99% of the time, there's usually just an item that fixes it. This is why Scout is hugely banned. Like, all of his whitelists ban like half of his item sets. For example, we changed our loadout today for this little game. We're on short stop. We're going to be playing a little bit more long range. We've got Mad Milk, because King of the Hill, naturally players group up on the point. And then we've got a little bit of bonus range with the Rap Assassin, if I ever hit it, that is. You know, it allows us to play a little bit differently, which is very fun. To me, at least. Scout typically doesn't do well when it comes to strictly attacking or defending, so look at your problem and say, right, what's the issue here? Using the range, for example, you know, a lot of the times on maps such as, you know, attack-defend maps, you often find yourself thinking, if I go in here, I die, because it's very enclosed, and, you know, results in my life being taken. But Scout has options where he can be more long range. You know, for example, I'm playing, well, if TF2 was coded correctly, I could have made that point, but what I was going to say is I'm playing completely outside of this Pyro's fire. He can't deal damage to me. Now, unfortunately, Pyro's fire scales with move speed, but that's a big thing I like. I like encountering problems. I like solving them. I love puzzles, and that's what I view Team Fortress 2 as a lot of the time. I view it as a puzzle. I think to myself, what's my issue here? Am I unable to do XYZ in the game? How do I fix it? I'm not a big fan of requeuing. I really don't like requeuing in casual when I'm like unable to, you know, do XYZ. There is a way through this. You know, if I'm on Scout and I say, right, I can't walk through this choke because I'm taking... Thank you, sir. I can't get through this choke because I'm taking a ton of damage every time I try. And, you know, I'm just not having a good time. The Bonk Atomic Punch would like to send you a message. You know, that's what I view Scout as, like I say, is a puzzle. But Scout's unlocks to me don't necessarily offer this weapon deal damage, this weapon not deal damage. They offer solutions to problems. The Mad Milk is brilliant for 1v1s against tankier players. It's brilliant for helping the team. That one's easy. I think the short stop, for example, what we're using today, I think it's a little bit underrated because it fixes an issue on Scout that a lot of people don't bring up. It brings up the issue of, hey, if I get close range, I'm probably going to die. Not necessarily in with a 1v1, but maybe they're grouped up. Maybe they're running specific classes like a bunch of pyros, and it's like, oh, if I get close, I'm going to take unavoidable damage, so I want to be, like, careful. And then the short stop kind of solves it. It helps you with sentries as well. I think there's an alternative way to look at multiple weapons in the game. I don't want to make a bunch of weapon review videos. I mentioned this before, but I cancelled a video I was going to make about the candy cane, because I really like the candy cane, and I think it's a very situationally overpowered weapon, depending on when you want to use it, but there's a million weapon review videos. It really doesn't need to be made. If I ever do a weapon review video for Scout, I kind of want to just do like a multiple hour-long general thoughts in a live commentary style where I just review every single weapon in one video, just to get it out of the way. If that's something you'd want to see, leave it in the comments. Might do it. Now we're playing Steel, for example. This game is extremely close-quarter Scout. Let's run the Force of Nature. Is there a little fellow in here? There indeed is. There you go. But it's a super enclosed map, so we're going to use a super close range weapon, and it's a very spammy map, so we've got a bonk. So let's circle back to the original point we wanted to make on this video. Why do I main Scout? To avoid rambling, it's that exact, you know, it's that exact thing I've been talking about. Experimentation. It harkens back to the original reason I did anything, or played an engineer. I was like, if I play this perfectly, goodbye. If I make 0 mistakes on this class, he's distracted, so we'll go for the sniper instead. If I play this class perfectly, I can't lose. And I feel like that just is the case on Scout. Anyway, that's it from me. Start the outro music. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.